Welcome back. Today we're diving into something that really captures creativity, innovation, and digital resilience. We've got the detailed November update from BongoHive. It's all about their activities, their commitments, and the opportunities they're shaping in Zambia's innovation scene.
Yeah, and this deep dive is important because, it's not just a list of events. It's more like a snapshot, a really crucial look at how one hub connects entrepreneurs on the ground with national policy and even frontier tech like AI. So our mission here is to pull out the key nuggets for you on how these modern ecosystems actually get built.
And the source material itself, it's got this real energy. You could feel the momentum. They talk about year-end magic and wanting to make the month innovative and bold.
Yeah.
It feels less like just an update, more like a rallying cry.
That enthusiasm is definitely there. And it reflects, I think, unnecessary optimism. You need these visible successes to keep pulling people in, right? Which is why we should probably start by looking at how they're getting that visibility, validating their model out in the open.
Okay, good plan. Let's unpack that.
Yeah.
Starting with those visible wins and how they're broadcasting that growth. First big thing, Hive co-working got featured on Aframax.
Right, and that's a significant step. It moves beyond just being an internal tech story. Aframax is a major lifestyle show. It's on the home channel, so DSTV, and also internationally on Deutsche Welle, DW Africa. That's huge.
Exactly. We're not talking niche tech audience here. This is like validation reaching millions of homes across the continent. Puts innovation right in the mainstream conversation.
Definitely. And the feature wasn't just some abstract piece either.
No, it had real faces. Interviews with Malmo Mobila Kakoma, the entrepreneurship manager, and Milika Shonga and Mary Kanawila from the co-working team. They were talking about the real, tangible support they give innovators.
And what's interesting is how that visibility connects to the sort of thinking behind it all. The source brings up this insight from Cynthia Conda. She emphasizes that innovation has to be human-centered. It's not just tech for tech's sake.
Right. It's about turning ideas into real impact through empathy.
Exactly. And that physical hub, the co-working space, that's where that human-centered work actually happens day to day.
And, there's a great story that illustrates this human-centered success perfectly. Natasha Msukwa, the founder of Touch Cosmetics, her story was featured in the Women in Tech Zambia section, and it's a powerful example of grit.
Oh, absolutely. She turned a really personal struggle into this beauty brand that's now reaching customers not just in Zambia, but across Africa, Europe, even the US. But here's the critical bit, the part you should really know. She didn't actually win the prize money in the Women in Tech Zambia Accelerator.
Yes, that point is so important. It kind of challenges the usual story that you need that big initial seed funding to make it. Instead of just stopping when she missed the prize, she used the mentorship, the community, the whole support structure she got from the program.
And grew organically from there. It's a perfect example of how that soft infrastructure, the network, the advice, the space can actually be more valuable sometimes than just a check. It let her build based on real market demand, open a store, hire people. Her success really validates that whole support system.
Okay, so connecting that individual resilience to the bigger picture, the national scale.
Yeah.
Let's look at BongoHive's strategic moves into policy. They're getting directly involved in pushing Zambia's digital public infrastructure, DPI, forward.
Right. This is where we zoom out from the co-working space to the national level. They were part of that national workshop on DPI down in Livingston. And this was a pretty big deal, organized by Smart Zambia Institute with the World Bank under the Digital Zambia Acceleration Project, DZAP.
So for anyone listening who isn't familiar, DPI, digital public infrastructure.
Right.
It's basically the foundational tech stuff, right? Like digital ID systems, payment systems, data sharing platforms.
Yeah.
The core plumbing for a digital economy.
That's a good way to put it, the digital plumbing. And BongoHive's input wasn't just about the tech specs. It was focused on building trust. Trust across government, private sector, civil society, making sure these digital systems are truly inclusive. Their stated commitment is an inclusive digital future for Zambia.
Meaning it has to work for the citizens, prioritize their access and use, not just make government stuff more efficient.
Exactly. It needs to be citizen-centric.
And that policy focus is moving quickly. There's a major event coming up, Isikopala in Kitwe, November 6th and 7th, 2025. This summit sounds like it's designed to get innovators, government, and the private sector all in one room, talking about how to build a well-funded, inclusive innovation ecosystem.
Yeah, and it's more than just talk. It seems like it's shaping up to be a legislative forum almost. The keynote is by Honorable Felix Chipotamutati, and he's focusing on two really specific structural pieces.
Okay, what are they?
First, the Innovation and Inventors Bill. And second, setting up a new venture capital fund, a fund specifically aimed at supporting startups and, interestingly, youth voices.
Okay. Why those two together, the bill and the fund?
Well, think about it. They work hand in hand. If you want a thriving tech scene, you need solid protection for ideas, for intellectual property. That's the Inventors Bill. Without that legal certainty, knowing your idea is safe, it's much harder to attract outside investment. Capital gets nervous.
Right, makes sense.
So once you have that IP protection framework getting stronger, the venture capital fund provides the actual fuel,
Yeah.
the dedicated money needed to turn those protected ideas into real businesses. It kind of completes the circle from idea to protected funded company.
That's a really important insight. So we're seeing this coordinated push, the physical support, the policy changes, and the dedicated funding, all lining up, creating an environment where innovation can actually start and scale safely.
Exactly. And speaking of scaling in the future, this is where we need to look at AI and skills development. This part of the BongoHive update is really dynamic.
Yeah, they seem very active on the AI front. They've got the BongoHive AI Lab Show and Tell. It's a hybrid event, both in Lusaka and online, and it sounds like it's purely about practical application.
Which is crucial. It's a space for developers, startups, AI enthusiasts to actually demo their machine learning work and get real feedback from experts. This helps move AI from just theory into, actual localized solutions that solve real problems.
And then there's the higher level strategy piece with the Deep Learning Indaback Zambia 2025. Day one is virtual, focusing on hands-on sessions, specifically on large language models, LLMs, and a practical challenge.
Right. And LLMs, just to quickly clarify for everyone, those are the core technologies behind things like ChatGPT, processing, generating human language. Getting good at training and using these models is a huge strategic goal globally. For Zambia, it's about digital sovereignty, making sure local data, local languages are part of that future.
And showing their commitment, BongoHive's own executive director, Lukonga Lindunda, is giving the keynote at InnovaX. He'll be sharing insights specifically on AI's impact on Zambia's digital future. So they're really leading that conversation.
Absolutely. But, shaping the future also means training the right people. And there's often this gap, isn't there, between what students learn and what industries actually need. BongoHive seems to be tackling this directly with two workforce surveys they've launched.
Yeah, that seems really smart. A feedback loop. The first one is for business owners, asking companies, what skills are missing in the grads you hire? That feedback is gold for designing better training, making it demand-driven.
And the second survey targets professionals already working, asking them what skills really mattered in your career, and crucially, what did your education not teach you that you needed?
What's the risk if they don't close that gap? What happens?
Well, the risk is huge inefficiency, right?
Yeah.
You could end up with graduates who are technically educated but need, say, 2 years of on-the-job retraining before they're really productive. That wastes time, slows everything down, stifles innovation. So by asking both sides, employers and employees, BongoHive is trying to build a talent pipeline that's actually ready for the workplace, especially in fast-moving areas like AI. It's proactive.
And just quickly, they also mentioned using Google's AI voice tech for their own audio newsletter, so they're using the tools themselves. Plus, their entrepreneur resource portal is still there, providing resources on funding, budgeting, networking, all that essential stuff.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The core takeaway for you, the listener, is that BongoHive is acting like this central hub, this connector. It links that inspiring grassroots resilience like the Tash Cosmetics story with really high-level national strategy. We're talking the DPI, the Inventors Bill, that new VC fund. And then it's looking ahead, future-proofing with the AI work and those workforce surveys.
So what does it all really mean? I think it means that the foundation for a smart, connected, and genuinely inclusive digital future in Zambia. It's being built systematically. It's not just hoping for one big break. It's layer by layer, driven by feedback from the community and real institutional support. It feels like it's moving the whole country forward.
Agreed. And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. Think about that immediate focus on the Innovation and Inventors Bill, the IP protection, and that new venture capital fund, the money. How quickly could those two things, the legal structure and the financial fuel, specifically accelerate the AI projects we're seeing at the AI Lab Show and Tell, turning those demos into scalable businesses? That intersection where policy meets practical tech, that speed, That could really define Zambia's next decade. That's the link worth watching closely.